There are 3 hurricanes in the Atlantic. We are no longer dealing with 3 tropical systems. We are dealing with 1 hurricane and 2 major hurricanes. And I gotta get you all the information on each of those 3. But mostly on Irma because that's gonna affect the US. Major Hurricane Irma right now is a Category 4 hurricane with 150 mile/hour winds. So Irma weakened from a very strong Category 5 to a modest Category 4 hurricane. I was wrong thinking that it was going to stay Category 5. But that was because Category 5 hurricanes can only stay Category 5 hurricanes for so long before they start to collapse a little bit on themselves. And all that had to do with that was a little bit of land interaction with Hispaniola and now Cuba. As soon as Irma breaks away from Hispaniola and Cuba, Irma is going to find itself in the warmest waters of the entire Atlantic. And once Irma does that, Irma can strengthen possibly to a high Category 4 to even maybe a Category 5 hurricane and make landfall as one of the 4 hurricanes ever to make landfall in the US. That would be crazy. But everyone still cares about where is Irma going. And we finally know, days and days and hours and minutes after I've been talking about Irma since August 31st and now it's September 8th. So I've been talking about Irma for 9 days. And we finally know where Irma's gonna track. And the European model's right. Irma is most likely gonna make a landfall east of Naples as a strong Category 4 hurricane. Practically all the models are in agreement. The GFS, the Canadian model, the European model, they're all in agreement that Irma is gonna make a landfall in South Florida just east of Naples. If you're thinking, oh yeah, Miami will be out of the clear, well, you're wrong. If Irma makes a landfall just east of Naples, Miami would still be in the worst part of the storm, the northeastern eye wall. That's the worst part of any hurricane, and Miami would find itself in that, and in that eye wall it would bring 150 mile/hour winds, 140, 160, wherever Irma is at that time. That would still bring significant damage, but it wouldn't be as bad as the eye going straight over Miami. We would kind of be out of it, but not really. If you're worried about flooding being an issue, I'm telling you right now, in South Florida, we don't have to worry about flooding as much as an issue. The forecast for Miami for rainfall is 1 to 2 feet of rainfall, which isn't that bad if you're considering that Harvey brought 5 feet of rainfall to Houston. 5 feet of rainfall. So if we're just getting 1 to 2 feet of rainfall, that isn't that bad. One major thing that Irma's gonna bring is storm surge. And it's not only going to bring storm surge to the eastern side of Florida, it's also going to bring storm surge to the western side of Florida and even the Georgia and South Carolina coast. That's because Irma is traveling straight up Florida's peninsula. It's traveling straight up there, all the way to Georgia, all the way to Atlanta. Then it's going to track northwest and get into Tennessee and still bring rain to them. Remember, Harvey wasn't done until it reached practically Tennessee. And that's gonna happen the same thing with Irma. But once Irma makes landfall in South Florida, it's gonna start to weaken finally. But it's not gonna weaken that fast because Irma still has the Atlantic Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico to pull in moisture from. And also Florida's flat as a rock. So there's no elevation ripping it apart. It's just over land. So Irma might even make it to the Georgia-Florida border as a Category 1 hurricane. It might do that. So you know what that means? Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville, Ocala, Gainesville, you're all gonna experience hurricane winds. And those winds could come in gusts or they could be sustained winds. So like I said last video, if you're along the Florida Peninsula, finish up your preparations because we have very little time before Irma makes landfall. Also, if you're in Georgia, especially along that Georgia coastline, I would start preparing too. You got a few more days to prepare. I would start to prepare if you're in southern Georgia because Irma is coming. The time frame for Miami for tropical storm winds is from Saturday morning to Sunday night. The worst of it is going to come Sunday morning. That's when the Miami area is going to experience hurricane sustained winds for sure. But at the very least, we're gonna experience hurricane winds. Irma actually came. This isn't Matthew. Irma is gonna have devastating impacts to the US. Hurricane Katia is a 100 mile/hour Category 2 hurricane in the Bay of Campeche. Hurricane warnings are already out for the Mexican coastline near Tampico. So if you're in that area, start finishing up your preparations for Katia because we're gonna have Jose, Irma, and Katia make hurricane landfalls in the same week. It is absolutely crazy. And I just said Jose is gonna make landfall. That's because Jose is gonna make a landfall in the same exact islands that Irma already made landfall in. This time, Jose is gonna make landfall as a Category 4 hurricane, not 5. But still, the impacts are gonna be devastating again all those islands are already destroyed and Jose's just gonna do like the cleanup. I really feel bad for all the people in those northern islands. This is really a catastrophic scenario. I wish the best to everyone in the path of Irma. Hopefully no one dies from any of these systems, but in my brain, I know it's gonna happen. Stay safe, everyone. This has been your tropical update, and I'll see you in the next one, hopefully. I almost forgot. I'm not gonna post a weather video probably in the next week because if you do remember, I'm in Miami and Hurricane Irma is gonna knock out all the power. So I'm not gonna be able to make videos nor post them. If you guys wanna check out my hurricane vlogs I'm gonna make, you could check out my vlog channel, MWG Productions. That's it. I'll see you in the next one.